Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the BeerDad and Brewed podcast, hosted by my dad, the BeerDad, the most awesomest dad around. Cheers, everyone.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the BeerDad and Brewed podcast. As always, I am your host, Justin Allen, the BeerDad. I am joined here by a couple special guests today. We have a returning guest, Josh.
Howdy.
And we got a new guest today. We have Alex here.
Hello.
So Alex is, you can catch him on Instagram, HopsConAlex. And we're going to do a beer share just like we did last episode. So we're going to start today's beer share with some McKellar Brewing from San Diego, California. Today's McKellar choice that we have is Passion Pool. It's a ghost style ale with passion fruit and sea salt. Comes in at 5%. So Josh, do the honors.
All right. Line them up, boys. We're going to...
There we go.
Oh, yes. I love that noise. All right.
This one was yours, right?
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you.
So the McKellar Brewing, those of you that are not familiar with them, if you see their cans in the store, they are the ones that kind of have that Picasso style artwork on their cans. Very colorful, interesting cans. This is one I've never actually had before. I saw it at the old Bevmo last night and decided for the share today for the podcast I'd give it a shot, see what everybody thinks. So
Yeah.
we'll see. So we'll kind of go around the table here. We'll start with Josh. Josh, what do you think?
Ooh, I like that. I've been playing around with passion fruit myself lately, and definitely 'tis the season with it being hot out here. But get a nice little tart nose on there, but you get that nice little ghost, flavor, a little salty.
Really good.
But that passion fruit just kind of, dominates everything. A little more tangy than I'm used to, but I'm definitely liking this, and I'm definitely liking what McKellar in San Diego has been putting out lately. I remember going there when they first moved into the location. That was the old, I forget the name of the brewery that was before it, but went there, got a flight, and I just wasn't really impressed at the time. But since then, I've been seeing a lot more of their cans and getting some good stuff.
Yeah, I love this brewery. This thing's good. I've had a similar passion fruit goes before, or is it Goza?
Yeah,
Is it Goza?
It's
I never know.
tomato. I'm sure someone's gonna give it a shot regardless.
Yeah. But I had one similar to this, and they're both tart. But I like this. I like the tart. For me, to drink a tart beer, especially right now in the heat.
Yeah, with that saltiness, it just kind of refreshes.
Good.
Nice. Well, I guess it's the BeerDad's turn to give his old rating here. I'm going to say this is a pretty good beer. At 5%, obviously, it's not too heavy. So being that you've got that sour quality to it, definitely has a refreshing quality, definitely a summer beer. Josh was talking about the passion fruit. I've noticed a lot of breweries are playing around with passion fruit for the summer, and they did a really good job on this beer, I think. I'm sure it's pretty fresh because I think the tag there at Bevmo said new. Well, it could be new to Bevmo, so we'll not sure. What's the can say?
Born on August 5th.
So
that's
pretty fresh. Yeah, we're still in August, so August 24th, so not too bad. So I was going to say I could taste the freshness in it. So for those of you not familiar with McKellar Brewing, they are in San Diego, California, kind of the Miramar area, which is between Miramar and Mira Mesa. There's kind of that's one little hotbed of breweries, and you got North Park, you got like the Vista Carlsbad area. So there's nice little pockets all over San Diego County that have breweries. And McKellar's in that area. So if you ever want to go down and visit, they're in the Miramar area, located at 9366 Cabot Drive in San Diego, just by MCAS Miramar. So go give McKellar a shot. But yeah, this is a great beer. I really enjoy it. So
the brewery is really cool to go to too. It is really close to, I think, Green Flash Piers around there, and a couple others, like you said. So
I know White Labs. Is that
White Labs. Oh yeah, White Labs.
That's always a fun one.
Definitely a cool place to go to if you need to get your yeast strains and everything else for your home brewing for sure.
If you go there, don't make the mistake of getting the flight of like their one beer made with all the different yeast strains. I was a little buzzed when I got there one time for my birthday, and they had this porter that looked pretty good, and they were like, "Oh, get the whole flight with the yeast strains." I'm like, "All right, give it to me." They line up 16 of these tasters, and I'm just like, "Oh crap!"
Right?
Here we go.
Let's do this.
Nice.
Definitely. No, but it's really good.
I don't know why I'm blanking on the brewery that McKellar took over. They're in the same vicinity. They're like right up the street from each other, but and like it's funny because the name's always on the tip of my brain, and
I'm the same way.
I got beers at home from them, and if you've been to their new brewery where they moved into, it's this massive like location, you know.
I haven't been there since like maybe I don't know 4 months ago. It was one of my buddy's birthdays, and we were out brewery hopping out there. So
Nice.
it's a good little area. That's the first time I actually went to San Diego to do some brew hopping. But if you get a chance to go there, definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, and I know McKellar has kind of blown up the scene, in recent years. But the thing I used to love was I was part of a bottle share a couple of years ago, and some of this stuff used to be really hard to get because McKellar kind of made his name as like this sort of lone wolf brewer that would go to these different breweries all over the world and do like one-off beers.
Yeah.
So sometimes it was just kind of hard to get some of them, but the beers that were coming out of these breweries were just top-notch. There's one in particular, I'm sure they don't make it anymore, but if you ever find it, it's called, was it White Tiger or or Paper Tiger or something like that. It was really, really good. That one was more like a tangy IPA.
This is a really, really good beer that McKellar made. It's like now that I've finished this taster here, I can still feel in the back of my jaws that sour, that bite, but definitely good. So we'll switch it up a little bit with our next tasting here.
Before let me finish the thought here. It's AleSmith I was thinking.
AleSmith.
Yeah. So their new place, massively huge, but their old location is where McKellar
took over.
McKellar took over their old place.
Okay.
Have you guys been to their little speakeasy right there at AleSmith?
I think so. Is that the one off to the side called the wooden panel?
Yeah, like bourbon barrel.
But they do it through Instagram.
Yeah, you gotta get a code and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
if you get a chance, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. They had like
Nice.
rare barrel like tasting.
Yeah.
But, all right, let's see what's out here.
So next up for us,
I'm going.
let me check the old BeerDad's list here of what we're doing. So kind of last week we jumped around from the East Coast to the West Coast and back again. We'll start that way here, but we're mostly sticking with the West Coast here. But this next beer is from the East Coast. I have never actually had this before, and last week we had Treehouse, and it definitely made me think, wow, Massachusetts knows how to make some damn good beers, so let's give somebody else a shot. So I procured some Lord Hobo Brewing Company. This is called Hazy Boom Sauce. They're located in Woburn, Massachusetts. It's a New England style double IPA coming in at 8.8%. So I'm excited to try it. These hazy IPAs, doubles, triples, every single one of them I've had has been pretty good as long as they're drinking fresh. We'll see what that's like.
There you go.
Alex is popping open the Hazy Boom Sauce now.
Get into this real
Yeah,
quick.
he just couldn't help himself.
I know,
Looking at it, just like,
You gotta get into it.
They really, the name just makes you want to just jump right into it anyways.
we all want to be a Lord Hobo.
Yeah. Lord Hobo Brewing Company Hazy Boom Sauce. Here we go. That's some good color on
I
that.
was gonna say that is a beautiful, like, nice little golden, almost like apricot color right there.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've had their brown ale before, and it was really good. So I haven't had anything since. I was pretty excited to try it.
Yeah. When I saw it, I was like Hazy Boom Sauce. sounds like something right up my alley. Let's see what that's like. And then I was like, oh, they're from Massachusetts. Why not? So,
I think I'm gonna underpour you guys.
man, that's horrible. We don't want to underpour anything.
Might have lost to the top there.
So, hazy boom sauce. Let's see.
I was gonna say, immediately I get that nice, like, dank coffee smell.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can
Right
smell
on
it.
the nose.
It's a double, so.
It's got that IPA smell to it. What do you think, Josh?
That's a damn good beer. That's a damn
In
good
case you didn't hear him under his breath, he said the F word, ladies and gentlemen. So,
I wasn't sure how far
we can say cuss words every now and then. It's okay, Josh. It's America, okay? Lord Hobo Brewing Company, coming from a master brewer, Mr. Joshua Kunkel over here. His first taste of your beer, and he dropped an F-bomb because it's that damn good. So, really good job. Alex, what do you think?
You gotta give credit is due. So for a double, 8.8. I thought that was a 9 right there for a second.
Yep, 8.8.
8.8. Yeah, the drinkability on this is great. So
Yeah.
I'm really liking this one.
All right, well, the beer dad's going to take his first taste. We'll see if the Tourette syndrome jumps into my mouth here with Lord Hobo Brewing Hazy Boom Sauce. Damn.
Yeah,
The first initial thought that I had in my mind taking that drink is, wow, this is really thick. It doesn't look like it when you're looking at it in the glass, but it almost drinks like a milkshake IPA. It's got a thickness to it. And then, like Alex was saying, for being 8.8%, you really cannot taste 8.8% in that.
It's a little bit on the boozy side on the back, but it's not like overpowering.
No.
You know how some beers overdo it.
No, usually when you start hitting the 8 and 9%, it's very noticeable.
Yeah.
Not in this.
It's really mellow, so it's good.
But they did a good job.
I was going to say, one of the things I noticed right off the bat is, I'm not used to hazy IPAs kind of going into the piney direction with the hops. They tend to go more on the citrus, but this one's it's got that piney, like resiny kind of dankness going on, and it actually blended really well. So it's like, damn, it's like very refreshing.
Yeah.
Very good job.
Yeah, I like that. That's definitely, if I'm going to head back east to Massachusetts, obviously I have to go to Treehouse based upon my experience last week and what Josh told me about when he was there. But now I have another place that I'm going to go to, which is Lord Hobo. I don't know if I need to bring my stick with the bag, jump off of a train, or I don't know what I need to do. But
look for the hidden symbol.
That's right. Maybe there's a secret handshake to get in. I don't know. But Lord Hobo Brewing Company did a great job with this, definitely, for sure. The can's really cool, too. So McKellar, obviously, was Picasso artwork with a giant passion fruit bowl. But Hazy Boom Sauce just has a really cool black and gold. If you're a Saints fans, definitely Saints colors for the NFL fans. Their logo kind of almost looks like a crown?
Yeah, like
Lord Hobo. Yeah, that makes sense.
If you're in the home brewing circles, Imperial Yeast.
Yep. Similar logo. So it looks like on their can there they got Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can follow them. They would love for you to hashtag BoomSauce and at Lord Hobo Brewing. So definitely check those guys out. I'm glad I picked this up. I literally picked it up just because they were from Massachusetts. Knew nothing about the brewery, but I thought, the Treehouse Brewing was amazing last week. So I thought let's give a shot to Lord Hobo, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah, good stuff. Good job.
Yeah.
Right. Just to let you guys know, I have a bit of a lisp. And while we're going to go through these, it might get worse. So you might notice it just a little bit more, though.
There is no judgment when there's beer drinking going on, okay? So, all right. I'm making my own personal notes here on these two beers that we've tried.
I was going to say, I've had like the original boom sauce before, and for those of you who are on Untapped, I usually try to rate so make sure I can find stuff again and whether I liked it. And,
Josh, for the listeners, because a lot of people really enjoyed listening to a lot of your beer knowledge on the last podcast. Anybody that wants to follow you on Untapped, what's your Untapped name?
What is my Untapped name?
He doesn't even know.
Dracorian, there it is. Dracorian.
Okay, there you go. And
the guy with the pirate.
The guy with the pirate, and if you can't find him, just go to my Untapped, which obviously is BeerDad and Brewed, and you'll find him on my list of friends. So definitely follow him. He's got a lot more beers checked in than the BeerDad, because the BeerDad gets lazy when it comes to Untapped, because I got so much other crap going on with the whole podcast and the Instagram, which, by the way, I hope everybody noticed. We hit over 500 follows on Instagram, and we had a little giveaway just recently. Squab, I know you're listening. Congratulations. And I know you got your gift card already, so I can't wait to see what you pick up from your little shop out there, all the way in Maine.
Wow.
So the one that won was all, like the farthest you could possibly get in the United States from California. But that's awesome. So I'm pretty excited.
Cheers to that.
Absolutely, yeah. Cheers.
Congrats,
so
man.
yeah, enjoy.
It's good.
So all right, what's next? Dad Stash.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Yeah, we're gonna have ourselves a little palate
Is
cleanser.
that in here?
I think it's in the fridge. I'll go for it. Yeah, I'll grab it.
So while he's getting the Dad Stash, I've had this before. 8-Bit Brewing, we've talked about them before, an amazing brewery, Murrieta, California. I love their theme. It's they do kind of like retro gaming and pop culture, and retro themes.
Yeah.
Really, really cool. Their social media people are amazing. If you follow them on Facebook and Instagram, they put out really cool videos when they drop a new release. One of my favorites was The Office Haze, because I love the movie The Office. Office Space. And they reenacted one of my favorite scenes where they beat the ever-living crap out of a printer. And, I mean, they did it almost to the T to go along with their release of The Office Haze. And that was a really good beer as well. But really cool brewery. It's actually a brew pub, so it's a restaurant in there. We actually were just talking about it before we started the podcast. Amazing food. They've stepped up their food game. I had a really good macaroni and cheese with like brisket or pulled pork or something on top that was amazing. The most ginormous bowl of mac and cheese I've ever seen, and even the BeerDad couldn't finish it. But yeah, really good place there in Murrieta, California. So we're going to crack open the Dad Stash. Perfectly fitting for the BeerDad and Brewed podcast. Little bit on the lighter side. This is a 4.6% Czech style Pilsner. But I'm going to tell you that it has a lot of good flavor in it, and they did a really good job with this. It's a very good beer. If you're looking for something to go sit with the boys outside in 100-degree temperature and just sit out on the back deck or out on the boat, definitely a great beer. 8-Bit does a really good job with that. And
I have to say also with 8-Bit, if you're really into those sour, hazy IPAs that are coming out right now, I gotta say they're putting those on a map for sure.
Oh yeah,
I'm really digging those.
Yeah, did you have the Power of Great Skull?
Power of Great Skull is so good.
So ridiculous.
I had that one at home.
We haven't had a chance to try
Great.
it out. Wait,
Great brew.
maybe we did. Do we have that at the last?
The Power of Great Skull. It's like a bright.
I know. I mean,
Bright
I saw the name floating
purple.
around everywhere,
Yeah.
so it's hard to tell if someone shared it with me or not. But yeah, but
We had last podcast we had Mapeful Dead.
that's right.
Yeah, that was the
Oh,
Imperial Stout with the collaboration with the donut bar and the maple flavored donuts.
I probably haven't had it, otherwise I would remember it. You know?
Yeah.
That was a double IPA.
Yeah, the way you guys are talking about it
Really.
sounds like a very memorable.
I don't have the can picture on my profile, but I have one coming up. And
I have an empty can over there in the BeerDad's bar. You'll check it out.
Nice.
It's got a He-Man logo on it.
Nice.
Got the Gray Skull Castle on it. Really cool.
We're all of the age that have grown up in He-Man land.
Yeah, for sure, man. Masters of the Universe.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
So the Dad Stash. We are on the BeerDad and Brewed podcast. We're here Couple of dads here in the room. How's the dad life? Alex actually, literally, at any moment would have to get called out of here because he's got a little bun in the oven about ready to pop out.
Yeah, so luckily we don't live too far from each other. That's already met. But I'm on call. I have the phone right in front of me just in case. I had to ask the wife, "Is there anything are you feeling okay?" She said, "Go ahead." And I'm on edge right now, but these beers are helping me out. So
Definitely
not too many.
Gotta get you relaxed.
Yeah.
Man.
So it's going September, I think 1st. Yeah, September 1st.
Right around the corner.
Right around the corner. So I'm pretty happy about it.
So what do you think of this Pilsner, Josh?
Oh, I'm definitely liking it, digging it, for sure. I mean, obviously, like true Pilsner fashion, you can see pretty much right through it.
Oh, yeah.
Get a nice little, crisp nose there. Nice, the saws or kind of that spicy, peppery kind of smell to it, which definitely is like Bohemian Pilsner, or in this case, Czech Pilsner. And then, of course, the flavor. Very crisp, very clean. Again, you get that nice little pepper note from the saws.
Absolutely.
You get a little like malty backbone to finish it out. So,
one of the Pilsners I've had.
Have you in the home brewing? Have you dabbled in the Pilsner?
Yeah, I did a Czech Pils a couple of years ago, and actually I'm getting ready probably in the next week or so to do a German Pils.
Okay.
For a buddy who's going to be hosting Oktoberfest at the end of the month, beginning of October.
I'm glad you brought that up, and I didn't have to because not this episode, I'm sorry guys, but there's a lot of good stuff going on in this episode. But my next episode is going to be an Oktoberfest theme because we're going to be gearing up for Oktoberfest. So I'm going to try to procure some good beers for that. So if you have a little extra, Josh, for that next podcast, bring it out.
Oh yeah, I'm making 10 gallons, so I should have more than enough.
I don't know if the BeerDad can drink 10 gallons of Pilsner, but he can definitely try. So it should be cool. So check that out. Stand by for episode 3. It'd be Oktoberfest. A lot of people think, well, why are you doing Oktoberfest, around the September time? Well, guess what? Oktoberfest starts in September, for those of you that don't know. The reason why the BeerDad knows is because I actually went to the legit Oktoberfest in Munich, Germany, and it starts in September, and we were there in September. So basically the whole Oktoberfest theme is they are celebrating the lead into Oktoberfest. So that's why it starts in September. So the next episode is going to be Oktoberfest theme. We're going to have a lot of different German-inspired beers. I'm hoping to get some Andex beer, which you actually got to try some of that, Alex, last time we got together, which is amazing brewery. So it'll be cool. But back to this podcast and what we were talking about here. So you made some Pilsners.
Yeah, I've done a Pilsner, I've done a couple lagers. Strangely enough, I've always actually had some pretty good luck doing them in the summertime. Yeah. Because I have a couple of kegerator fridges at home. I just dial them to about 50, 55. Throw the beer in there to ferment with the lager yeast. Trick to a really good lager from a home brewing standpoint is you want to do what's called a diacetyl rest, meaning you let it ferment for maybe a week or two. You kind of keep track of that little bubbler doing its job, letting the gas out. But right as you kind of see it start to taper off, you want to cut off the temperature, raise it up to about maybe 70 degrees. Because what's happening with those lager yeast is it's creating that sulfur compound that sometimes you taste in lagers, and it's kind of a little like, oh, what the hell is this? It's because they didn't do that diacetyl rest. You get this corn flavor, the sulfur flavor, but if you crank up the temperature to about 70, the yeast suddenly get like super excited and they start eating the crap out of all those compounds. Yeah. They reuptake and break them back down. And then, of course, you do that for about 4 days to like a week, and then you just crash it. You drop that thing down to about 35, 40, and all those particulates settle out. Your beer's nice and clean now, and then, all you got to do is keg it and drink it.
Got a nice, beautiful, clear color that is very, very nice scent. Alex, what do you think of Dad's Dash?
Dad's Dash is one of the better Pilsners I've had in a while. I've been getting really into Pilsners lately and lagers, and this one's good, man. I can't argue with 8-Bit. 8-Bit's doing out some outstanding beers lately, so they're definitely one of my top 5 favorite breweries out here. Yeah. probably one of my top 5 that I've been to so far. So
Definitely, and I agree with that statement. I've been the BeerDad personally has been to a lot of breweries, not just in Southern California, Northern California, and in other states as well. And 8-Bit's definitely, I would say, probably in my top 5. They're really, really good. They're, like I said, their food's good. But I love their special releases. They come out. Their collabs have been cool. What was it? The one with Carl Strauss that they did. The Dude, Where's My Carl? That was a good beer.
Great beer.
That was a great beer. But yeah, so 8-Bit Brewing definitely doing a great job. Shout out to you guys. You guys see me a lot, so definitely say hi to the BeerDad next time I'm in there. But I like this Dad Stash. The can is amazing. For those of you that haven't been to 8-Bit, I'll put some pictures up on Instagram and Facebook for today's podcast. But Dad Stash is it's basically an 8-Bit guy with his eyes and a nice mustache. So in the background would be very subtle things that Dad does, like work on cars. You got like wrenches and check engine lights, lawnmowers, cheeseburgers. Oh yeah, I see it all. They really went in depth on this can art. It's pretty cool. But Dad Stash Czech Pilsner is 4.6%. Definitely easy drinking. This is the perfect summer beer for all the dads and non-dads to hang out by the barbecue and just sit back and knock back a few without having to feel so whoa. You know what I mean?
Get to feel dad-tastic.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely strap your fanny packs on, wear your New Balance shoes, and grill up some hamburgers and hot dogs and drink some Dad Stash Pilsner, everybody.
You can drink that thing all day. I just got a 4-pack yesterday, actually. So, pretty stoked. I have these beer fridge at home.
And they're cheap, too. What's a 4-pack? It's like $12?
Like $12,
Yeah.
Cheaper, I mean, it's not a $20 4-pack like we get normally.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's a nice, great, if you like the style of beer, Pilsners, it's pretty cheap, $12 I think it was.
Yeah. $12 for 4 pints. That's pretty good.
Oh yeah.
It's a great
Cheaper,
Pilsner.
almost. I mean, cheaper than you pay for per pint in a bar.
Yeah,
That is true.
For sure. So
I saw a meme like that the other day. It was about if you think about all the beers I'm getting and drinking at home, I'm saving a lot of money at the bar. So that's a good way to think about it.
I like your thinking.
Yeah.
There's got to be a way to justify the money we're spending on these craft beers.
Yes.
And if you end up getting into home brewing and make your way at it, you can save some costs.
Well, that's what Mr. Craig was saying last podcast, or before the podcast. He was talking about how since he's been starting his brewing adventure, he's saved a ton of money on buying beer because he's just drinking his own beer. So when you make it in bulk, obviously it doesn't cost you as much. So
It definitely drops the cost down. I mean, I think we mentioned this also the last time before the podcast, where it's just depending on how you go about it, you're either going to pay up front with the equipment,
right,
and then kind of save some money that way, or you're going to just pay a little extra for the ingredients that are already kind of processed for you, and then go from there.
Yeah.
But either case, regardless, you're still saving some pretty good
absolutely.
money.
I heard somebody say somewhere around, like once you have all your equipment, obviously, somewhere along the lines of like $40 for 5 gallons of beer.
I don't know. I've gotten it actually as low as 25.
Wow.
If I'm
Depends on
doing
your recipe.
The hops, the grain bill, everything like that.
like I've done some pretty easy going, like the Pilsners, or even just like a basic pale ale.
Right.
But yeast, hops, grain.
The basics.
Just a basic. I've been able to do about $25-$30.
So you hear that, listeners? We always talk about home brewing, and I like to have Josh here because he's done it for over 12 years. But $25 for 5 gallons of beer.
Yeah, I think that breaks down. I don't remember what I did, like the cost. I think it was something like 10 or 15 cents a beer.
Yeah, that definitely beats $7-8 at a bar per beer.
Well, because a 5-gallon keg will get you 50 bottles.
Wow.
So to give you an idea, that's a 50-pack.
We didn't notice earlier. I was actually taking notes, but I'm going to obviously go back to this podcast, but that way my next beers, I'm really looking into it. I'm taking on your knowledge and all that good stuff. So.
Yeah, feel free to reach out. I try to be there.
That's what this is all about, and all the listeners, anybody that wants to get in contact here with the BeerDad and Brewed podcast, any questions about home brewing, I can hook you up with Josh. If I can't answer the questions myself, But Josh is more than happy because he loves to spread the word. It is the good word of home brewing, and he does an amazing job with his beers. So yeah.
Well, thank you. And yeah, I'm definitely always try to make myself available to answer any and all questions. And then I'm president of the Coachella Valley Homebrew Club out in the desert around Palm Springs. And one of the things I love doing is kind of like talking shop or teaching seminars and stuff like that. For a while there, we were hooking up with libraries, talking about how to do homebrewing 101, classes and stuff. We get a few folks showing up, and for me, it's that's half the fun right there, is just the education side of it. Because while I'm teaching, I'm also learning. Someone's going to come in and throw a curveball my way, and it gets my brain thinking, okay, how do we work this? How do we work through this?
I heard a podcast the other day. It was one of the lead brewers, I think, from Three Weaves in LA.
Three Weaver,
and she was saying that her mentor pretty much told her the idea of being a master brewer. There's always something. There's always something. Different styles of hops coming out. Different strains of yeast, all kinds of stuff.
That's very true too, and a lot of these master brewers, what I really like is going on, and what I've been seeing in the industry is the whole collaboration thing.
Yeah.
A master brewer from Electric will fly back to a random brewery back east. They'll hook up and he'll collab with them, and they'll make a beer, and vice versa. They'll come out here. They just did that collaboration at Electric Brewing. What was it, 2-3 can releases ago with 450? Yeah. Who makes those crazy slushy beers that I still have yet to get my hands on. So listeners, if you can get me one, figure it out. I will get you something from Southern California. We'll make it happen. But that's pretty cool. I love how these master brewers are always wanting to learn new trades and get different things. I was talking to a guy that was down at a brewery down in San Diego, and he was getting ready to fly to, I think he said Prague, to go and do a collab with a brewery in Prague. I'm like, that's pretty dang cool. That's awesome. So yeah, it's awesome. They're learning. So we're gonna segue into our next beer here. Actually, it's two different beers. So it's Project 5, and they made a Berliner, a passion fruit, and a mango, and they suggest actually mixing the two. So we're gonna try it just a little by themselves, and then we're gonna try it mixed and see what the big score is about. Now, I don't know a lot about Project 5, but my boy Alex over here knows a lot about Project 5. So Alex, why don't you fill us in about Project 5?
Yeah, definitely. They're based out in Temecula. They're a really great couple I've been keeping in touch with in the homebrew side of things lately. And I think it was last weekend, I went and I went over there and I took them a bunch of peaches I had from my peach tree that they're hopefully going to use for a new beer that they're going to make. And they hooked me up with these two cans right here, and it was their first time doing these Berliners. Man, I got to tell you, these things are awesome. Yeah. Awesome beers. We're going to try them separately. So it is actually the same grain bill. The only thing was that one has passion fruit and one has mango. And then they said, well, they wanted to do originally a passion fruit mango Berliner, and they said, well, why not just do the same one and then put them together. Yeah. And then you get the two tastes, because it is the same beer, just conditioned.
Sure. And you'll find breweries that kind of do that, where sometimes to try and layer those flavors, they get too muddled when you throw too much at it.
Yeah.
So they'll do them separate, and then just like a wine, they'll blend them before canning. But this is also kind of half the fun too, where you can try and make your own mixes at home. Almost like the kid at the Coke machine, just whoop, 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 like doing your suicide.
Yeah.
If you haven't already, follow them. They're Project 5 Brewing. They are based on Temecula. It is a husband and wife team. The wife is actually going to be the master brewer, and she's actually a student at UCSB Brewing Program.
Sweet.
And she's also a member of the Pink Boots Society, so they've done collaborations with that stuff. So if you're familiar with that.
It's a really cool society. I've had a number of beers from all over the country.
I just had one. I had the what is it, the notorious POG collab with
yes.
Stone
yeah.
Pink Boots.
That has
Pink
probably
Boots,
been one of my favorite beers this year.
You like that one?
Yeah, they just hands down. They just owned every part of that beer.
Yeah, they had that on tap at Buffalo Wild Wings. If you guys are interested, Tuesday nights Buffalo Wild Wings has their buy one get one free special again, which is amazing for those of you that like wings with your beer. So definitely go check out Buffalo Wild Wings. And no, they're not paying the BeerDad to say that. I actually like Buffalo Wild Wings.
So yeah, they're really cool. Project 5, you know, they let me go over there and hang out with them a little bit, and it's always fun to go hang out and try some beers.
Yeah.
And they had these ones just recently tapped, I think the week before.
So the first one that we're trying is
Passion fruit.
Passion fruit.
Passion fruit right now.
See what
So 5.8.
here.
As again, this is the first time actually brewing the
Wow.
style, so
Oh, yeah.
I can smell the sour.
Yeah, I was gonna say the passion fruit right there on the nose. Very inviting. I love that.
yeah.
Josh just got a big smile on his face.
Well, I did
You
a
guys can't
passion-
see us because you can hear us, but he smiled.
Well, I did a passion fruit blonde. Like I think I brought it out last time. You know, and I was just so happy with like everything about that beer, and it's just it's amazing what the passion fruit itself brings to the table.
Absolutely.
You know, especially in something like a Berliner.
Right. You know what? Go ahead, Josh. Start off with you. What do you think of the passion fruit there?
I like that. That is very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, from a Berliner standpoint, you get the almost kind of like the salty creaminess to it, which I'm wondering if the passion fruit's playing into that. But yeah, it's very subtle. It's not overpowering. Which
Thoughts exactly.
yeah, that's the thing with passion fruit. A lot of people were telling me is like sometimes it just overtakes the whole beer.
Yeah.
But this is a perfect blend right here. You know, and I'm sure the saltiness from the Berliner is just kind of mellowing out a little bit.
Yeah, this one was definitely more on the tardier side. Like their mango one was more, the mango flavor really goes in more. It's more of a juicy, literally you got mango and you juice it. And this one has that more tart, like you said. Finished
Well, passion fruit's pretty tart.
Yeah,
on its own. You know, like a lot of the
stuff.
other beers I've had it, you know, sometimes it just dominates. But I like this. This is like a nice even blend.
Yeah.
You know, with the beer, you're still getting the Berliner up front. And you get that nice little passion fruit on the nose and on the flavor. Nice little like tanginess right there.
Right.
Still.
It's crazy that first initial taste of the smell, like Josh said when he got a big smile on his face, you definitely get that passion fruit kind of sour smell.
It's
Wow.
Yeah.
It's really, now I'm taking another smell and it's just super fruity.
Yeah.
And but the flavor, you know, a lot of people think, you know, got your traditional beer drinkers, your West Coast IPA guys. Oh, these people and their damn fruit beers and that's sissy stuff. I don't want to drink that, you know. But this is good beer.
Yeah.
It's not what you think. I'm not drinking like you're thinking. I'm drinking like Kool-Aid or something. It's not because it's beer.
Yeah.
But it just has that back end flavor to get rid of any bitter beer taste, and it's very refreshing. And this comes in at 5.8%, so it's not a slouch.
Yeah, no.
And it's dangerous because it's the flavor's just all there. Like there's a lot of flavor going on, and 5.8%, if you're not careful, it'll get you. Yeah.
I really like this beer. I'm gonna have to. If P5 you guys are listening, I gotta pay another visit and try to get a couple more cans from you guys.
Well, I'll definitely when I get the podcast up, I'll tag Project 5 or whatever I got to do to get in contact with them, let them know that we're featuring them on the BeerDad and Brewed podcast. But I'm definitely gonna go check them out and show them some love because that's good beer. And I believe last time you and I got together, Alex, for a beer share, you brought some Project 5.
Yeah, I brought some Project 5.
Which one was that? It was like dark something or
no, they're pink boots. They're the Galaxy boots.
Galaxy boots?
No, I believe it was Osaka boots actually. So it was for those familiar with the Pink Boots Society, they have a blend with Yakima Chief. They have an actual blend of hops that they'll use.
Yeah.
They're happy enough to give them some. They did 2 beers. They did 1 beer called Galaxy Boots, and then 1 beer called Osaka Boots, and they added some Osaka hops to it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the one I brought over.
It was a green can,
Yeah,
right?
it was a green can. Yes. So
Osaka's a good hop variety.
Osaka, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they brewed that one out.
Tropical is all.
Yeah, so it was really good. So I brought that over, and don't know what else I brought. I thought I brought a couple homebrews too, but I don't remember.
I remember a can that had a lady on it. And I thought that was Project 5 too, but I could be wrong.
I don't remember.
It's been a while.
Yeah, when was the last time I
in between all that, we've drank a ton of beers. It's hard to remember, and that's what variety is the spice of life.
Oh, yeah.
So definitely that's what I love about the craft beer industry and the home brew industry is people can play around with so many different ideas, so many different flavors that you could literally probably have a different beer every day for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, to me, as a homebrewer, that's one of the biggest draws to this hobby, is that there are so many variables at play and so many different ways of blending and mixing and brewing that you're never going to get like the same beer twice.
Right.
Even if it's the same recipe, same everything,
Yeah.
there's always going to be small little tweaks or
Well,
outcomes.
it's just like you could use the same recipe and you just change the yeast, and it just like what we were talking about with White Labs earlier.
Yeah.
It completely changes the flavor of the beer. Like,
Temperature.
yeah, and it could be your last beer is amazing, and then that next beer you use a different strain of yeast, and it's even more amazing.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, and it's the same recipe. So that's a pretty cool thing. Like I like how you talked about that flight. I definitely recommend it if you go there.
Yeah.
Definitely. As long as you haven't been drinking before you go there, because it's a lot. But they do a nice mix, and it's crazy because it's the same beer just with different yeast. And
You can really see where the yeast, bring to the table.
Absolutely. So Alex poured the other can, so we started with passion fruit. Now we're switching to the mango. So we'll go ahead and I can smell mango. I barely even picked that up to my nose, and I smelled mango. This one's a little darker.
Yeah, it's darker.
Darker
it's a lot
and
more
thicker.
hazier, looking like you can't see through it.
Oh yeah, mango big time.
Let's see.
I know. Yeah, mango's always had a kind of a weird flavor for me, but I don't know. It's almost got this kind of creaminess to it.
That is definitely a lot sweeter than the last one.
Yeah.
So keep in mind it's the same hop bill or the whole same grain bill. It's just different fruits. It's
Instantly,
how you
my
treat it.
mind always goes in other places when I taste beers because I start thinking of things to do with them. And the first thing that comes to my mind with this beer is I want to make a michelada out of it.
Yeah.
You know what? A nice little rim on top.
Yeah, a little tahini.
Yeah.
That, I don't know why. I love mango with tahini on it, so that's probably why my mind went to that place.
I could see this being a really good blend with the spice. Like
Yeah.
a nice little chili note in there.
Yeah, for sure.
Like who does that? Mason jar. They do that with
Yeah.
some of their beers, right?
They put
little rim on
the
there.
Mason Jar Brewing will do they call me Roberto, and they line the rim with tahini, and it's just that nice little touch
Yeah.
for that beer. It's, I believe, a jalapeno Mexican style lager.
Nice.
It's got nice and refreshing, and it has a little bit of bite of jalapeno. And if you line that rim with the tahini and with a little bit of lime, it's a nice treat. Very, very nice. Spicy, really good. I love Mason Jar.
Another brewery out in the desert. I brought their watermelon, kettle sour was Desert Beer Company. I think I told you guys about. They're doing their own little michelada type deal out there, but he ended up brewing it was a cucumber and like habanero, like pale ale.
Okay.
Really good beer just on its own, but
Yeah.
when you mix it in with the tahini and like a little bit of clamato and everything, it's just like perfect.
Sounds
blend
good.
there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, coming back.
I just burped a little bit, but I feel like it took a bite out of that thing. That was kind of crazy.
I feel like I literally just ate a mango.
Yeah, that's crazy.
This is
It's like super, almost like nectarine juice.
Yeah.
Like,
This is good. So I'm gonna leave it half full, and then I'm gonna have passion fruit poured in there. Have them mixed. See what that tastes like, because that's what they recommend.
yeah, let's try this. Yeah, this is some of my favorite things to do with beer. Is like, let's say, okay, we got two separate flavors. Let's do a little bit of blending. And see what we've got here.
Perfect. So last episode, everyone got to meet Mr. Craig, who is from the Bearded Beaverman Brew House in Hollister, Missouri. Him and I one time mixed a Belching Beaver Peanut Butter Stout with a, oh boy, I gotta think of this name. It's a British, I think they're British. Sam Smith, is it Samuel Smith? They make like the organic.
Oh, you're thinking, it's not Sam Smith, it's...
something Smith.
What are you talking about, your organic chocolate? Or
They make an organic chocolate and they make an organic raspberry something or another.
Well, actually, maybe that might be Sam Smith then.
I think it might be.
Because they're famous for doing like the nut brown ale.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's Sam
So,
Smith.
anyways, we mixed those two together because we were like, and this is before anybody made a peanut butter and jelly beer. We're like, we had a few beers and we're like, we gotta make a peanut butter and jelly beer. So, and we're like, all right, well, let's just mix some. And so, Belching Beaver Peanut Butter Stout's like the go-to for peanut butter stout. And then we're like, all right, and we saw that it was like organic raspberry or organic strawberry. And we're like, okay, let's do this. And we mixed it. It was amazing.
That's a lot.
So yeah, mixing beers definitely sometimes works out. One time I mixed Garage, the Hatch Chili IPA, and I mixed that with the Mango Heffenweizen. Beautiful. I mean, we were just talking about mango and spices. That's a good mix right there. So if you ever have Garage Brewing, mix a Hatch Chili and a Mango Heff, and it comes out really good, for sure. So, all right, I'm gonna take a sip here of this mix. So this is a Berliner from Project 5, 5.8%. We tried it straight up as passion fruit and straight up as mango. Passion fruit, I think, had a little more subtleness to the fruit. The mango was a little stronger. Both of them were really good, just different types of flavor, obviously, but we'll see what they taste like mixed.
So the passion fruit is a lot more tart on its own. I think that's where the balance comes in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting, though, because to me, the passion fruit still kind of like dominates.
Yes.
Yeah.
At least for my
After mixing, that's what I was going to say. It's funny because when I still held it up, I had that mango scent. But when I took a drink, the passion fruit took over the mango, but the mango was just there at the back end. So maybe that's why they want you to mix it. It's a really good mix, very tropical flavor, and still kind of hits the back of the jowls with that sour flavor.
Right.
A lot of flavor. Your whole palate's just going crazy right now. That's gonna be a lot to come down from for sure for our next one. But actually, we're going back. We're gonna do another sour, I think, next. But that's good. Project 5 does a great job.
Yeah, good.
Thanks for bringing that over, Alex.
Good job.
Just shout out to you guys if you haven't followed them yet. Yeah, check them out. They're on Instagram. Great team, great people. It's always fun to get to know them and talk to them. And yeah, definitely good beers. Beers, you know.
Yeah, these are the type of beers you almost want to, play around and doing like a beer cocktail with or something.
Yeah,
It's got so much flavor to it. It's like, all right.
Beer cocktails are pretty crazy.
Yeah. So,
I never thought about people actually doing that, where they put liquor inside of beer. It's like, man.
Sometimes
I've
it
never
works.
actually
Sometimes
tried it.
No, I've had beers that I think they tried to make that, but just failed outright. Like worst one I had was supposed to be a bourbon barrel aged like stout, but it tasted like someone just dropped a shot of whiskey into a stout, and it's just like, oh, crap! What am I doing?
You know what's really good, and I actually did this with Jose not too long ago at is it the Irish pub in Marietta, Shamrock, right?
Shamrock, yeah.
So we went there, and they have you guys seen the Caskmates Jameson whiskeys?
Yes.
They have a stout one.
Yes.
So I got a shot of the stout Caskmates, and I dumped it in my Guinness, and it was
Actually,
good.
that might be pretty good.
It was good. Also, too, for those out there, the Caskmates makes a ridiculous Bloody Mary. So substitute the vodka for the Caskmate Stout and use that to make your Bloody Mary. Use it. For Bloody Mary mix, for my BeerDad listeners, Zing Zang is the best Bloody Mary mix. Or you can use it as a michelada mix. It's the most flavor I've ever had in a Bloody Mary mix. You don't have to add anything. It's all in there. And it's got that perfect amount of spice. But a little bit of Caskmate's Jameson whiskey in there, stout edition, really good Bloody Mary.
Yeah, if you want to. Speaking of Jameson and the Caskmates, they have the stout edition. They got the IPA
edition. That's the next one I want to try.
That one's pretty damn good on its own. But for St. Paddy's Day a couple months ago, I was hanging out with Jose and another friend of ours, Andrew, And at that time, I'd been playing around as a home brewer making hop oil extracts.
Yeah.
And these oil extracts are they're terpene, so they're more the floral side of the hop. They're not really any of the bitter. And we were like, hey, let's have fun. We had already been drinking, that's how these things start.
Right.
So I took a little eyedropper of this hop oil extract and we dropped it into a finger of Jameson's, that IPA Cass made. And it was scary good. Jameson has this little bit of burn at the end of it. Completely wiped that out.
Oh, wow.
So all you got is that like smooth whiskey sweet going on. And yeah, Andrew ended up in the bathroom shortly after that because I'm sure he drank more than his fair share. Because he didn't have the burn to remind him what he was drinking.
That's fun. I'm just trying to figure out how we're going to open things right real quick.
So,
it is sealed.
We're going to move on to our next beer already. You guys are like, man, you guys are drinking fast. Remember, guys, here at the BeerDad and Brewed podcast, you can hear there's 3 of us. So, and last time there was 4. So these are pint cans, and we're divvying them up in little shot glasses, basically. I got these 2-ounce tasters. And perfect for tasting beer, so you can get a nice variety, but not get all crazy with it. So we're going back into this is a sour, isn't it, Alex?
Yes, it's absolutely not a sour. Let's try to open this bad boy up.
Let's see here.
Alright. See what we got.
This is actually another a sour, a traditional sour.
Okay.
Another homebrew. If you guys haven't noticed, I'm actually like an advocate for trying a lot of homebrews, which is why it was great to meet you. You know what I mean? A ton of great stuff happening in the homebrew scene, and I've just been really focusing on that with my beer page. And this is another married team that's Springseed Brewing, and I'm hoping I pronounced that right. I've met them a couple times. I actually met up with them yesterday because I took them some peaches as well for my peach tree, and they're telling me they're going to make either kettle sour or traditional sour. This is a traditional sour there, and it's an awesome brew. I had it before as soon as they gave it to me. I have one sitting there in conditioning.
Yeah, you can get that tangy right off the nose.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's real thing.
Yeah.
So big shout out to them as well.
Springstead Brewing is a homebrew couple.
Yep.
Brant and Deanna.
Yeah.
Okay. I just followed them on Instagram. Hopefully they check that out. I'm checking out their Instagram here. Looks like they have a lot of quality taste here in beers, and of course they make their own. I'm excited to try this because I'm looking at the color, and it really has a nice color to it. It has a peach color.
Very, almost even a fuzzy peach.
Like a fuzzy peach, yeah. They're really into the sours, so they're experimenting a lot with those. And they're.
Let me take a quick whiff here.
I was gonna say I'm already getting a nice little like farmhouse going on.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Some little like almost like bready.
They're doing it. They're doing it.
Wild yeast notes going on.
Yep.
They're doing something good already. Just by that smell, I can smell peach, and I love peaches. So
sure.
I think I'm gonna already like this just by smelling it.
It's gonna hit you right where we're talking about. It's sour.
Ooh, good job. Good job with that.
Yeah.
See, I'm always worried when I like the smell of sours, but sometimes as soon as I drink them, I immediately regret it because that pucker factor is just
way too intense. This one's not that far.
No, I like it when it's nice and subtle.
Nice and
like this. So good job with the. You get a little bit of that like I said, farmhouse. You get a little bit of like just an inch of like horse blanket, kind of a little bit of hay. That wild yeast characteristics. The Brett.
This is my opinion on this Springstead Brewing peach. Son of a bitch, is it good? Because let me tell you something. I love peaches. They are tend to be sweet, but I'm kind of a weird person when it comes to peaches. I like to eat them before they get too sweet.
Too ripe.
Yeah, I don't want them mushy. I want a crispness to them. And some people are like, you need to let them ripe a little bit. No. I like a little bit of sourness to my peach.
That's where I'm at. Yeah.
And this right here is perfect because I get the awesome smell of peach and I get the flavor of peach. and I don't get the sweetness. I get the sour. So they did a really good job with this beer.
You get that crisp, almost even like cidery kind of quality, to it.
Yeah, this is a good beer, and I'll give you a little information here. I was looking for the alcohol content. It's 6%. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they bottle it. Their artwork on the bottle, very basic. Their brewing company and a picture of a peach.
And I got to give a shout out to their abilities here, because in true sour fashion, they gave it a couple of years to mellow out.
Yeah.
Showing here, they brewed it 2 years ago, 2017. Just bottled it earlier this year, so usually a really good sour takes about 2 to 3 years to kind of mellow out and get into its prime, and this is right there.
Yeah.
So, Josh, since you're the master brewer, the sours are becoming a big thing right now. This is legit sour, like you said. They made it 2 years ago, and then they just recently bottled it. Now, a lot of people are, because it's such a craze, they're making sours on demand now.
Yeah.
So what's the difference in style of making those two types of sours?
Well, first off, it's two types of yeast strains that you're dealing with here. The first one, especially for these traditional sours, is what they call a wild yeast or Brettanomyces strain. And along with those sour notes, you're also going to get other features that usually right out of the gate aren't very preferable. That's why you got to age them out, because over time those wild yeast strains are going to break down those chemical compounds that your palate doesn't like. Namely, one is referred to as horse blanket, or like barnyard.
Yeah.
These are things, or another flavor is leather or tobacco. You're going to get some of these flavors that for some people they're not conducive. People don't like the taste of tobacco. They don't want to chew a cigar.
Right.
They don't want to chew on their leather belt. But over time, usually, like I said, 2 to 3 years, these compounds kind of mellow out. They break down. They're still there, but in smaller doses, and they tend then to give more complexity to the overall beer. So you're going to get that tangy sour up front, but you're going to get these subtle hints of like the barnyard, the leather, the tobacco, and it's really going to just give your palate really something to play around with, going, man, there's a lot going on here, but I really like it. And the second one are what we refer to as kettle sours. Kettle sour was a way of doing the quick and dirty sour, but obviously they're getting good at it. You get some really good styles, where you get that nice tanginess, but you're maybe not getting so much the complexity. It's just straight tangy. Right. Now, the yeast that goes into that is known as lactobacillus. It's essentially the type of yeast that will curdle milk and turn it into yogurt.
Okay.
So essentially what these guys are doing is they'll make their beer, and it's in the kettle that they're boiling it in, and what they'll do is they'll turn off the heat, they'll get a bunch of yogurt, just dump yogurt straight into the beer, leave it alone for maybe like 24 to like 48 hours, and once that lactobacillus yeast, or the bacteria I should say, it's not quite a yeast, it's a bacteria, what that does is it acidifies the entire batch. So it drops the pH down, so you get that like tangy, tart, almost like if you were eating yogurt, you get a little bit of a tanginess in yogurt. So after about 24, 48 hours, when the pH hits just the right amount, they're going to kick on the burner again, they're going to boil that batch again, and that's going to kill off that yeast, or that bacteria, that lactobacillus.
All right.
Because if you leave it running amok, it's going to infect all your equipment.
Right.
And then every beer you put into that fermenter is going to basically taste like sour. So they don't want that. So this is a really good way of kind of, keeping sanitation, but also able to make these sort of sour type beers for the market and have the turnaround time be really fast.
Yeah.
Because once you boil it, you kill off the lactobacillus. Your beer already has that sourness from the acidity. That's not going to go away. You can't boil that out. It's stuck in the beer now. So what they'll do is they'll transfer it to the fermenter, and then they get to throw their own yeast on it and ferment it like you would a normal beer. Because yeast typically like more acidic conditions, so they're typically okay. Now the kettle sours are a bit more acidic, so sometimes you got to throw more yeast at it to really kind of go through it.
Yeah.
That's also the reason why most kettle sours are in like the 4 to 6% range, because it's really hard for the yeast to chug through like all of those sugars and stuff.
Nice.
In a nutshell, that's kind of what.
That's some knowledge right there.
Yeah.
This is why I like having him over, because he is a walking book on brewing. Lots of knowledge. Any questions you guys have, definitely hit up Josh Kunkel, master brewer, home brewer extraordinaire. So that was a really good beer. Springstead Brewing. You guys definitely know what you're doing.
I'll say, as an opinion piece, I'm still a fan of the traditional sours, just because you do get more of that complexity going on, and this is a perfect example of that.
And I've heard the argument, traditional sours versus it's kettle sour, right?
Yeah, kettle sour.
So and there's a big argument there, and some of these breweries are pumping out some good kettle sours, but I can definitely tell you there's a difference.
Oh yeah.
You can tell, like, right off the bat, this beer was amazing. It took 2 years to make. Anything that takes that long is going to taste better than something that they made in 3 days.
It's like when you're smoking something,
Yeah.
You gotta smoke
Low and slow.
Low and slow, exactly.
Low and slow. That's how I like my tri-tip.
But I like how they, again, on their bottles, the subtle artwork. You got the peaches right straight in there. And then they actually put their bottle number and which batch you got. So they're really into the sours.
Oh, yeah.
And they're doing a lot more stuff coming soon. So
It's always nice when you find some folks that really are able to dial in these sour beers, because you just get some amazing results. And as a home brewer, I can tell you, I screwed up with more than a few myself.
yeah.
Because when they're bad, they're really bad.
Yeah.
But when they're good, it's oof.
Some water if you want some sour flavor in that glass.
Yeah, we're going to move on from a sour to something dank. The dankiest of dank. Dank Souls. Hazy double IPA from 8-Bit Brewing. This guy's a 9.2%.
Coming straight to you from Kryptonite.
Yeah, straight out of Han Solo and
Carbonite, sorry.
refrigerator. Is that nice and cold, Josh?
Yeah.
Mr. Craig, if you're listening, Han Solo is working. Josh did not have to get up out of his seat to get this beer.
Yeah.
He was right there. Yes, the fridge is 3 feet from Josh.
I feel like I'm out of pull muscles.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot of work for sure. So we're gonna have some dank souls.
Pop that over. I guess I'm trying to do it in front of the mic so you can.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
Get that sound. The listeners like to hear it.
Yeah. Sweetest sound in the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
After a long day, it's the best time. There you go.
Nice.
See that
and
color?
hazy. Yeah.
Super hazy.
Yeah. Got almost like a greenish tint to it.
A little bit, right?
Oh.
Yeah, the first time I had this, it was funny because I was like, "Do you got any cans?" And he's like, "Yeah, we got a few cans left." So, obviously, I was like, "Well, I'm gonna take a 4-pack, but I want one now." And he poured it, and it just made the most amazing pour. And they have nice glasses there at 8-Bit, so I took a cool picture. You guys can see it on my Instagram. It just, the pour itself is super hazy. You can't see through it. And when you take that first smell, Josh, you smell that pine?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I can smell that citra right off
Yeah,
the
there's like citra, pine.
I like their cans because they always put the hops that they use or who's collaborating. They're very detailed on those. They have Nelson Citra and Motueka.
Yeah, the New Zealand hop.
New Zealand.
Good stuff.
So
I use that myself to really good effect.
So, Josh, this is your first time trying Dank Souls. Alex and I have had it. What do you think?
Yeah, damn good job. I mean, this
Thanks.
is, yeah, it's definitely a dank one for it, for sure. But you get nice little, like, just ever so slight piney notes, but you get definitely the tropical and the citrus notes, right up front, kind of dominating the whole thing. But you know what I like about this beer, which is kind of my measurement of most beers, is like clean. It's clean.
Yes.
So you drink it, you get all your flavor, and then
Gone.
Yeah.
Gone. You're
Yeah.
done.
There's no aftertaste. You get
Yeah.
when you first take a sip of it. Let me take a drink real quick. There's like a flavor explosion in your mouth,
Yeah.
and then gone.
Yeah.
There's no aftertaste
Yeah.
at all.
That's what makes these beers dangerous because this one's at
9.2.
Yeah. No.
9.2.
That's a dangerous.
That's why they only will pour you a certain size
Yeah.
glass, and I think it's 12 ounces is the biggest glass they'll pour you.
Yep.
There at the brewery at 8-Bit, but yeah, 8-Bit did a really good job with this. I hope they decide to make this one of their core beers because it's probably one of the better ones. In fact, the beer tender there at 8-Bit, he was telling me that of all the ones they've made, this is his favorite.
And I can see why. I mean, this
Yeah,
one's
it's great.
super smooth, especially for 9.
Yeah, for those gamers out there that like video games, nice little shout out to Dark Souls, the video game.
Oh yeah.
I love these references.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
I will give them credit though. They got all just.
I love it. You
I was there
know,
the other day and looking at the whole tap list, just like, oh, that's awesome.
they got like the Daenerys Targaryen and the what else? What
Yeah,
they got?
Mario Tart.
Mario Tart. They
Street
got
lager,
Street Lager by the power of Great Skull.
I have Red Bull.
Red
Bull.
Yeah.
Red.
Yeah, it's a cool brewery. You guys got to check it out, man. Marietta, California.
They're blowing up.
They're right on the corner of Jefferson and it's not Cherry. Cherry's where Electric's at. I'm not sure what that cross street is, but you can't miss it. They're right on the corner. Big old sign, 8-Bit Brewing. But definitely check 8-Bit out. Obviously, you can tell BeerDad's a fan because they've been featured 2 weeks in a row on the podcast. So, yeah, I like their beer. I like their brewery. They got great food, good people. They do catering and like corporate events. They have a big room you can rent out. I've seen that happen where big businesses go in there and
It's a
they
great
feed them and get them some good beers. But it's a cool spot there in Marietta. Practically in Temecula, it's literally right on the border. So for those of you that know where Temecula is at, it's right there, right on the border, Temecula, Marietta. And it's a good spot if you guys want to do some brew hopping. You can literally hit 8-Bit, Electric, Inland Wharf, Stadium Pizza, Black Market, Refuge, Aftershock, Weems, Garage. I just recently did that tour and it was awesome. It was amazing. So definitely check that out.
Oh, Carl Strauss is out there too.
Yeah, Carl Strauss. You can finish it up over there.
Yeah, well, on the other side of the freeway, but there's a ton of breweries.
Used to be a Ballast Point, no longer in service, boys. No longer in
For
service.
those who have grown up in Temecula, Marietta, before that, it was a captain's cabin.
It was
Yes.
good
Nice
seafood.
seafood joint.
Yeah. You got to get your little fish and chips on over
It
there.
was one of those old school where they come out with the big old steam bucket and dump it on the table and you get your little hammer. And
Yeah, that's where Ballast Point was at, and they didn't make it. But that's all. That's all part. Yeah, that was that. What are they? Satellite. What's the name of the company that bought them? It's Corona and Modelo that owns them.
yeah. Was it Morningstar or something like that? Or
It's some
Yeah, it was
weird
something about because they opened up in Disneyland. I guess they were just closing out these smaller breweries or tasting rooms.
Oh, their rent at Disneyland's
Yeah.
got to be. I mean, shit, it's $300 for you to go to 2 parks in one day. Imagine what they charge a brewery for rent.
Well, I was going to say, if they're the ones doing the beer, then I guess it makes sense now. Some guy went over to the new Star Wars land, and Disneyland went in the cantina and ordered
And they got brewery beer there, but who makes that beer? Is it Ballast
I
Point?
guess it'd be Ballast Point then.
Are they? I don't know.
I'll have to check.
It doesn't say.
But I know someone was telling me it's like $70 a flight.
That's if you want to take the flight home. They have it's a big.
Oh, okay.
My brother got one. It's a big wood stand, and it's got the Rancor teeth in it. So the teeth are the cups,
Oh, okay.
so you get to keep the whole wooden stand with the Rancor teeth.
I was thinking, like,
Yeah,
that's a
if
hell
you want a flight without the whole setup that you get to take home, I think it's like $40 or something like that. So still expensive for a flight. It's Disneyland, but I spend a lot of money at Disney, but that's because the BeerDad has children all over the place, popping out of every corner. So we go to Disneyland a lot. So Have not been to Galaxy's Edge yet, and I'm really sad about that because my brother, who's a jerk, I know you're listening, you went without me, but I will be there soon, and I'll probably drop $70 on a Rancor flight because I want to put that in my bar. So,
That'd be awesome.
yeah, for sure. But this is a good beer. Dank Souls,
Good job.
hazy double IPA, lots of flavor, very, very good beer.
Yeah, it's like
I like
I could
it.
just sip on this all day. And it's like nice and refreshing, just nice little tropical notes, citrus notes, just a hint of pine in there. Yeah,
I dig it.
That's fun. Man.
like a cologne you just wear.
Right.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah, I like their that little area that they have over there on the side that you can actually rent. A big shout out to Mr. Open Tap. So there's Open Tap. He has an app that's actually he made it out here.
Yeah.
And I was gonna tell you about it because you're out in San Diego a lot, right?
Yeah.
So he's actually doing something. If you can convince some breweries to join his tap, you might want to get in contact with that guy because I don't know how many actual breweries you get to talk to, but he's offering he needs some help trying to get some people because he's mainly out here in this area in San Diego and to LA. He's got a ton of stuff that he's working on trying to get these people on this Open Tap app.
So it's kind of like Untapped, but
It's kind of like Untapped, except it's just like it kind of just shows you what's around you.
Mhm.
You can actually buy beer for people. So once they join, you can send your friends some money to buy some beer there, either release or like some of their flights and stuff like that. But what I was getting to was actually like he I think he was part of organizing some of the homebrew stuff, going back to homebrew, and in that little area that 8-Bit has on the side, they would do this event called Cultish. And they would just feature a bunch of homebrewers that are out in the area, and it was just like a ticket. Pretty, I can't remember the price. It's pretty cheap, but it was just kind of an event to just try all the homebrewers brews and stuff like that. So if you guys ever get a chance, and if I hear about them making another one, I'll totally hit you up.
I'll be there
because this is where I met. This is where I met these guys, Project 5. This is where I met Springseed. Definitely other brewers out there.
yeah,
So.
I'd be interested in that. I'd probably bring some equipment there, do some recording
That'd be
down
awesome, yeah. We gotta get together and talk about that.
Speaking of homebrew meets professional, not sure if I told you last weekend, the homebrew club out in the desert, Coachella Valley Homebrew, which I belong to, we earlier in this year we had turned in a beer and won a competition with Melvin Brewing, based out of Wyoming.
Mm-hmm.
They have a satellite brewery out in San Diego, so this past week we went out there and made our beer. And I got to give these guys a shout out because awesome place, man. Like beers were just top notch. In fact, actually, the day we were there, they were doing like a coffee and beer pairing. So they had a coffee truck full up, and
Nice.
a couple of breweries in the area all got together and made their own version of like a coffee beer.
Mm-hmm.
And Melvin's stood out. He did a golden stout with like a cold brew.
Oh, that's what we featured on the
Yeah.
last podcast,
Yeah.
and that's good
I
stuff.
would say hands down best golden stout I've had ever.
Wow.
Like it just beat out everything I've had so far.
Nice.
Like you smelled like this nice roasty toffee coffee thing going on.
Yeah.
And then just on the flavor you get like chocolate notes, hazelnut, like the whole bit. And it was great.
Nice.
But and also they're just great, hosts. They basically treated us some beer. They had food. It's like a brew pub that they have there. Awesome food. They had this, what was it, like a Philly cheesesteak with shishito peppers.
Oh man.
Wow.
It was
Man, that
just,
sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was just,
You can't beat that.
yeah, good stuff. But
No.
I had to give them a little bit of a shout out just because they, good people, good food, good beer. And if you ever get a chance, you should definitely swing by. They're kind of in the downtown area. They're right up the street from Mission Brewing.
Okay.
You know where that's at?
Yeah, right by the
Yeah.
Padres Stadium. Everybody knows
Exactly.
the BeerDad's a Padres fan, so I know exactly where Mission.
Literally
is
like
at.
2 blocks up the street, 14.
Okay.
So, pretty cool little spot there.
Yeah.
But definitely worth checking out.
Check that out for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So we've gotten through 6 brews here. Technically, well, almost 7, but one of them we combined.
Right.
But there's going to be a bonus here. We're going to finish it off here with some Garage Brewing peanut butter chocolate stout. So this is like the dessert
There you go.
That's
for
a
the
good way.
podcast.
Yeah, that's a good way to
Oh, yeah.
end it off.
And
Yeah.
It's like that's kind of how the last collaboration with 8-Bit was. What would you guys have? What the donut bar?
Oh yeah. That was the Mateful Dead.
Maple Dead. Oh, and also gotta give a shout out to Mr. Man, his name slipped out of my mind. We can cut that out, right?
let's go and crack this one. And
Yeah.
Get some dessert going.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Good times.
So Garage Brewing, Temecula, California.
Yeah.
Hand over the glass.
So Garage Brewing is in Temecula, California, right off of Pechanga Parkway, or the lower 79, which is basically the base of Temecula. And they make all kinds of good beer. We were talking about it before the podcast. Good food too. They do like that, flash-fired, wood-fired pizza or whatever, where you can kind of create your own pizza, almost like Chipotle or Subway type thing, where you kind of go down the line and put whatever toppings you want on that pizza. They throw it in there. It's your own personal pizza. You pay one price. You put as much toppings as you want on that bad boy. They got good wings, good desserts, whatever you want, fried green beans or something like that. But their appetizers are really good. But this peanut butter chocolate stout was a special release that they just did recently. It's a milk stout, and it's got chocolate and peanut butter flavor to it. 7.1%.
Pretty good.
But dangerous because, Josh already says it's pretty good. We were talking about Belching Beaver earlier, their peanut butter chocolate stout, and that was always my favorite. And then I tried this, and I was like, wow. Because one thing I always thought I wish that Belching Beaver did was just have a little bit more peanut butter flavor. This, I think, has more peanut butter flavor with the hint of chocolate.
I can smell it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting up like maybe a couple inches. I'm like, oh, there's the peanut butter.
Yeah, so they did a really good job with this. I was excited. Garage Brewing they always do kind of, in terms of their stouts, they got the marshmallow milk stout, which is like kind of their flagship. They did a cherry chocolate stout like around like Valentine's Day, and then it became popular and they put it out every so often. But this one's really good. I hope they decide to make it a flagship beer because it's really tasty. What do you think over there, Josh?
Well, just the smell alone, man. I'm getting like, it's in like Reese's peanut butter cup or like those turtle Dove, whatever chocolates, man. It's just sit here and smell this thing all day. But oh crap, that is good. Yeah, damn good job with that. Like when you say dessert, like this is straight up dessert.
It goes down so smooth, like.
It is a dessert beer for sure, and what I like about it is it's 7.1%, and I don't taste
not
7%.
Even close.
No, I feel like you said, I feel like I'm eating a Reese's peanut butter.
I was gonna say this is like straight up liquid Reese's peanut butter cup right here. I get like a little bit of vanilla, get that peanut butter just everywhere, and then nice little chocolate notes on the end.
This is definitely, and I still love you, Belching Beaver, because you make good beers, but this is my new favorite peanut butter chocolate milk stout. Garage Brewing, Temecula, California. Great job. Alex, what do you think?
Great beer, man. You can't argue with this. I haven't been there in a while. It's a little bit more going towards, outskirts of Temecula, but I love the chocolate flavor of the coffee. You can smell it right away.
Does anyone know if they do any sort of outsourced brewing? Because I've seen that brewing set up, and for the amount of production that I see with these guys everywhere, I'm like, they must be brewing like 7 days, like 24 hours, to make up the
I don't know. I mean, I know they got a big joint. For those of you that don't know the location, and I want to say it used to be a Jiffy Lube. So it was an old Jiffy Lube. It's right next to a Shell gas station, and they converted it into a brewery and restaurant. Rather large. I mean, they got. I'm not exactly sure what they're brewing. I have some contacts down there. Matter of fact, I probably going to do an interview down there pretty soon. Get more details as far as how much they're brewing and where they're brewing and stuff like that.
Curious about the size of the brew house, because I remember going in there and getting a flight and looking at the brew house going like, I see these guys everywhere, but I'm looking at this brew house going like, at the time there was no one in there. I'm just like, that doesn't make any sense, man, because there's a ton of their beer everywhere.
You see it everywhere. Yeah, they're popping up everywhere. I obviously follow them on social media. They're in Vegas now. So a lot of people in Vegas are wanting to see this peanut butter chocolate because they have everything else. Nice. And they're starting to hit other states too. So like
they're
blowing up. Sure. Yeah, for sure.
Well, I remember when they first came on scene, like everyone was talking about these guys.
Yeah.
Like every person I'd say, oh yeah, I just stopped there for lunch one day, had their beer, and I was like floored. You got to go check this out.
Yeah.
So it took me a long time to get over there, but
I have not had a bad beer at Garage. Everything that I've tried, even like some of the obscure stuff, like they have a green tea. Yeah. I was like, this is not going to be good. Okay, I like green tea and I like beer, but I'm not going to like green tea beer. But it was good, and I remember drinking it and telling somebody that I was with, man, because I like sushi. I was like, imagine drinking this with some sushi. Rather than having a Sapporo or a Kirin or whatever, and having a green tea beer, and it was refreshing, and you could get that nice hint of green tea, and it just washed clean at the end. It was real crisp. You've had it, right, Alex?
Yeah. I'm wondering if you can make a beer cocktail with some sake in that.
That'd probably be good.
Yeah. Now that you mentioned some sushi, I was like, maybe I can see some sake on there or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really out there. It had a lot of big, bold green tea flavor. And it just finished really dry, so I'm wondering, like, maybe you can make something out of that. But yeah, I think that one was the first one I saw. Is out there in Vegas.
It's
a winner right there.
I might do one of these episodes. One of these days, I might do a Japanese beer edition, and that might get included, even though it's not a Japanese beer per se. But because I think it would be really well paired with some sushi, and maybe we'll do some sushi and pair that with that and some other Japanese beers.
Have you ever tried Indian beers?
Which one?
Indian beers?
No.
Man, I go to some Indian spots and they have some Indian beers, and those lagers, I like them.
Yeah.
They're really heavy though. They're really out there, but I think they're pretty good. They're pretty good beers.
You get some interesting beers around the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Living up in San Francisco for a couple of years, I used to find all these little mom and pop places that represented just everything any country you could think of. And one of my favorites was this Eritrean, which is like East African place, like the type of place you eat with your hands and stuff.
Yeah.
But
I've seen those types of places. That's interesting.
Food was just amazing fucking food, man. Like it was like
that's not where like you can only eat with one hand, right? You can't eat with the other one.
If you're in the traditional society, you use I believe it's your right hand.
Because one hand, you wipe your
ass.
Wipe your hiney, wipe your ass.
It's pretty crazy what they do with criminals out there too.
Yeah.
One of them's gonna go, and you're not gonna like which one.
But while I was there, they had an Eritrean honey beer that was just really, really good. They got a nice little like honeydew almost like taste to it, but very sweet. Just kept everything nice and light, and worked really good because the food was very heavy. It had like okra, lamb, all these like super spicy, the good kind of spicy where like it burns, but
something sweet to cool it down.
It burns so good.
Yeah. So, well, boys, we've had a total of technically 8 but 7 beers here from different breweries. Nice. We did circle back to 8-Bit twice when we did Dad Stash and the Dank Souls. But what do you think's your favorite, Josh, out of everything we had today?
Still gonna have to go with the boom sauce.
Boom sauce.
Yeah.
The one that made him say "fuck." Yeah, the little bit of the one sip is all it took.
Right.
Yeah,
Alex,
that smell. Oh.
Yeah, because I'm a fan of hazies, and you'll probably go to my page and see that a lot. It definitely has to be Dank Souls.
Dank Souls, okay.
But big shout out to the home brewers right there, because those are out there. Those are outstanding.
Good.
Great beers, man.
Well, for me, the BeerDad, everybody knows that I'm a dark. I like my meat dark, and I like my beer dark. So Stout obviously hits it for me. The Garage Brewing Peanut Butter Chocolate Stout, probably my favorite beer, but very, very, very close second. I'm probably going to say the Dank Souls too. I've really been getting into those hazies, and that one, when they tell me it's 9.2% and it tastes that good, that's dangerous. That's really dangerous. 8-Bit did a good job. Garage did an excellent job on this peanut butter chocolate stout. So we had a good beer share today. I hope everybody listening, got to get a little information about these breweries. You go check them out. Again, McKellar Brewing, San Diego, California, and Lord Hobo Brewing in Woburn, Massachusetts, and of course 8-Bit Brewing in Murrieta, California. And then we had a couple of home brews from Project 5. They're in Temecula, and Springstead Brewing in Temecula as well.
Actually, Riverside.
Okay, Riverside. So check all those guys out if you can. Follow them on Instagrams, Facebooks, and Twitters, and all those social media pages. Definitely check it out. And Josh on Untapped. Do you have an Instagram? Do you do stuff on Instagram or just Untapped?
I have an Instagram, but I don't really
use it.
Don't use it that often, but I do follow a bunch of people. Okay. So I try to keep abreast.
He follows me, so if you guys throw some messages at me, he'll be happy to answer them. Of course, Alex, that's how him and I met, was Instagram. It's hops_con_L
and then Alex. So Alex.
So follow him. He's on my page too. So if you have any questions for him, you can definitely send some messages. But it's been a great beer share. We sampled a lot of good beers. Hope you guys enjoyed yourself. I hope everybody enjoyed listening to the shenanigans that took place today. And again, in the next episode, stay tuned. It's going to be an Oktoberfest theme. So I don't know if these guys will be here. We'll see kind of scheduling wise, but I hope they can be here.
Stein in hand.
With a Stein. I got my Stein ready. Got it. And hopefully we can get a Oompa band and do it. I mean, we're going to do it legit.
I was going to say
Oktoberfest.
I like your little taster glasses, but if we're going to go Oktoberfest, we got to go
Steins. Yes, we're going to do some Steins. So like I said, I went to the legit Oktoberfest, so I know what's up. So I'm happy to bring that to the listeners. Talk a little bit about Germany and a little bit about the history of Oktoberfest as well. So thanks for listening, everybody. I hope you have a good time. As I always say, drink safe, drink responsibly, call Uber, call Lyft, whatever you got to do. And thanks for listening to the BeerDad and Brewed podcast. Have a good day, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.